Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair.
Shut up, baby. I know it. Alright, I think I got everything working. I'm surprised I'm starting somewhat close to on time because the kids were absolute feral monkeys tonight. Hey, 2Bob, what's up, dude? There's always a cooldown, especially since I know how every single one of y'all think. I know about you people.
Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair.
See, now I know you're lying. And this is why I have trust issues. Oh, handles. Are you using, what is it, paperclip to do that? No, I think it's paperclip. Hang on. Let me see. Let's see. That's not the right page. Hang on. Oh, you're writing it custom? Gotcha. Well, if you want some inspiration, check that out. It's something I've been meaning to go tinker with. I just haven't taken the time to do it. I'm so damn busy. I was like, oh yeah, that looks nice. Ooh, that looks nice too. Ooh, shiny thing. Sounds cool, man. Here I am over here just basically, I think I got into a fight with one of the AI agents the other day because it made some stupid decision. Or it tried to lie to me about something. I forget what it was. I'm like, hey, why don't you go check this thing? And it's like, oh, you're absolutely right. Oh, I remember what it was. So we'll wait till the stream to start. But yeah, there was an attempted malicious PR to the Mythic C2 agent Apollo. Just because all the agents have their own GitHub. And it was funny. I'll tell you about what Claudicus thought of it. Yeah, that's right. All the real programmers use COBOL. So I'm trying to avoid those kind of things by having agent memory vector databases. Cool. So there's some really cool stuff around. Yeah, or do it in Pascal. There you go. That's the winning formula right there. There's some really cool stuff around AI agent memory systems. The kicker to them is when you get to using a vector database or something like a RAG system, it might be different. Which vector DB are you using? Oh, I didn't open my Jocko yet. Ah, there we go. That's the sound of winning. Just code it in Lua. Get out. You're fired. Actually, I joke about that, but then we've seen malware that was basically just stuff wrapped in Lua. Postgres with PG vector for now. Okay. Well, I think we're at time. Let's get started. We'll see if this works. Let me see. Hey, it did. All right. We're golden. So, hold on, Handle. So I wanted to show you something real quick. I don't doubt that what you're doing is cool, but I want to make you aware of a problem you might come across, right? So, when you're using a vector database, right? Coming like this. What? So you got your little vector DB right here. So what's happening is you're basically storing information over here, right? And then it gets converted into a group of vectors in here. And those vectors allow for like a word search approximation. This is how this is working. So one of the things you might run across in the future if you keep running these agents and they keep accumulating more and more data is that the problem becomes that when you have a low number of these documents, it's really easy to go find the right vector for it and pull the correct document. But let's say this is maybe like version 1, and then you have a very, very similar document over here that's version 2. And then once those vectors come through, it might be just minor changes. So these resulting vectors can be really close to one another. That's one problem that can kind of come up with it. Another one that can happen is that you just start getting so many documents and so many terms start to overlap in them that they start looking very close to each other in there. So I currently have a deep research agent dissecting paperclip. Nice. I have an Obsidian Vault mind map as a fallback when not found in DB. Okay, cool. Yeah, it depends on how you're all structuring it, but I didn't know if you had come across this particular thing that can happen with these kind of vector databases and more or less RAG type systems. And it could be that you're not necessarily using a RAG. Maybe you've got a more sophisticated problem. But as that list down here of documents grows, what happens is you start getting more of these vector collisions in here. And so you might start pulling like the more incorrect data. Oh, so you're using metadata for the querying. Okay, cool. Awesome. Let me know how that turns out. because I honestly have just been using mostly off-the-shelf stuff. Aside from what we made over in Hackbot, which was super informative in seeing how a lot of these systems work. Oh, speaking of silly AI stories. So, yeah, hang on. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Let's see. Surely I've got the link to Apollo in here. I believe it's this one. And if we look at the pull request. Yeah, here we go. Look at this pull request right here. Kind of weird. No description. Sentinel bootstrap. Like, okay, that's really weird. Let's go pull it up. Look at this thing right here. Look at that change. Look at that diff. That's insane. So, of course, Cody, who's the developer for Mythic, he sends me all this stuff whenever he sees it. And we start looking through it. It's 9 commits in here, but they're absolutely monstrous. This commit, which has fingerprints all over it for cursor, if I remember correctly, 827 file changes. It's just got malicious commit written all over it. Like, all of a sudden, there's these random DLLs and binaries being committed to it. I'm like, what the crap? Let's see. Panda Unicorn. The world of AI is burning. Costs going up. Yeah, I know, right? They can only... I don't know. It's going to be weird to see what the prices do. And in fact, just to like look ahead of that curve, Panda, I was thinking about trying to look at some of the other models that are less expensive. I'm drawing a blank on them right now. And hey, Disclosure, what's up, man? Because, yeah, it's not so much that it's being subsidized. It's kind of weird, right? What you've got is you've got this kind of weird equilibrium that they have to balance with this, right? So every one of these AI providers... And by the way, guys, I don't have a strict plan for tonight. That's why I'm like, let's just chat for a minute. Maybe we'll do a little bit of Hack the Box just as a nice chill out. I had a hell of a day today. I had to get up early. We went to mass because my niece was having her first communion, so that's kind of a big deal. And then we got home and I worked in the yard for like 4 or 5 hours, still cleaning up storm damage from last weekend. It's getting close, but it's still not done. I still got a ton of repairs to do on this. This is just cleaning up leaves and sticks and dead tree limbs and crap. And as I was going through and doing that, then my father-in-law calls me. He's like, hey man, I need your help putting an engine in a quad. I was like, damn it. So I went over there and did that. Come home, wrestled the kids, literally just like manhandled them to get them to eat their dinner and get ready for bed. This is the first time I've had to sit down all day, is for the stream. Anyway, so what I was going to come back to say is, let's say you've got all these like AI providers that are coming up right here, right? What they've done is they have 2 sources for running these models, right? So the first source is they've got it, let's, for lack of a better term, we'll call it on-prem, right? Stuff that they are managing and hosting. And the other stuff is, we'll call it like PaaS, platform as a service, right? They're renting GPUs from somebody here. These ones right here, they only make money when they're being used. So money is going to be usage right here. And then this one, same thing. It's only making money when it's being used. The difference is, let's see, usage. The difference is for the on-prem, right? The on-prem, if there's no usage, it's still costing them money. Over here for the platform side, if there's no usage, there's no money, right? Maybe a minor overhead, but let's call it negligible, right? So if they're not putting this stuff to work, then it's not going to work. Now, if they price themselves out, then all of a sudden the usage is going to go down and the money is eventually going to hit this plateau point, right? It can't ever zero out for this one. So depending on how their business model is, this one can go down, this one can go down along with it. But this one can only it's still going to be costing them money to house and maintain those servers. They still have idle power. They still have idle cooling. We should do more Let's Defend. We could do more Let's Defend. We can just chill out and do some more triage. In fact, hang on. I got an email from them. They said a lot of people were having trouble with a particular challenge. In fact, hang on. Let's go look at that. All right, Hadels, take care, dude. Let's see. I just ended my GitHub Copilot subscription and having a hard time getting a replacement. Claude Code, of course, is good, but I'm running out of usage so fast. Are you... I know, dude. So I don't know what they changed on the Anthropic side, but Claude Code has really just gone to crap. So I didn't even use Claude Code for this. This was the original story I wanted to show y'all. So here, this weird Sentinel Bootstrap commit to the Apollo agent for Mythic. I took this and actually I sent it to Claude. And I said, hey, Claude, go look at this and let me know what you think. And the first thing it flagged was that the git ignore had hidden Unicode characters. And so I couldn't even go through the file list here because there's so many. But as I come through here, I was like, I'm looking. Normally there's a warning on GitHub if it has hidden Unicode characters in it. Couldn't find any of that. But look at this. All this stuff was just like nuked out of here. They just completely rewrote the whole thing. I think they had a phishing system put in here too. One of my other friends was looking at it. But so I had to actually go down and git clone down this fork from whoever Ferdinand Bamboo is. And look at it, and it's like, oh, I stand corrected. There's nothing in here. I was like, yeah, I know. I know there's nothing in there. And so it's weird. It's just like all the hallucinations that Claude had did a really good job of wiping out are just right back, man. I don't know what it's doing or what they have broken. They need to unscrew that pooch real bad. So for hyperscale use case companies, also, hey, Sambly, what's up, dude? Like Apple or Meta or even Intel as a hardware vendor, on-prem is always first choice for IP protection and strong TCO and security over begging a vendor to fix an issue. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Hang on, I gotta go look at something real quick. Let's look at our closed alerts real fast. They said this one, this 287 arbitrary file read, they said a lot of people were having trouble with this. So I guess we could go submit a write-up for it. They sent an, I guess it was an automated email. I don't know. Because I emailed them back asking, okay, what do you want me to do? And they never responded. But yeah, they're like, I guess a lot of people were having trouble with this one. I was like, this is an arbitrary file read. Why is this so hard? Have I tried the new Claude security? I have not. I don't have a lot of use for it. I'm not really decompiling and looking at code or scanning code for vulnerabilities. I'm usually using it to build stuff. So right now I've got it building the Mythic MCP server. I'm working on that. I recently took that over to Codex, and Codex is actually doing a really good job on it. What else? I need to work some more on, what was that other project? I thought I had a third one there, but no, the other one I'm working on is a tool for generating beacon object files. And it's kind of a cool approach to it. I like it because I think it's going to help AI agents interacting with C2s have an easier time. Because a lot of times trying to know the correct format to put all the various inputs in for a beacon object file can just be a nightmare. Cobalt Strike kind of extracts that away by using the sleep scripts, by using the aggressor scripts written in sleep, which is a god-awful language. So I don't know what's going on with Claude Code. Look how they massacred my boy. Oh, I don't want to go in the Discord. Nah, forget that. What is this? Another tool I had up. I've got so much random stuff. But yeah, anyway, from all the random smatterings of today, basically, I love my analyst notes. I know your password is Hunter 2. That was what I put in there. It flags on virus total as malicious. Oh, it's 100% malicious. I was just too damn busy to go dig into the details of it. The main thing I wanted to point out, though, was that Claude, the web interface, because I wanted to try it out, completely whiffed on it. And it's like, oh, this thing has a hidden Unicode characters. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's fine. Had a similar problem with Claude today. It said it was searching old file. I interrupted it and told it not to search that file since it was old and not interesting. It responded with, noted, I didn't search that file anyway. Yes, you did. My last week with Copilot, I actually got really good results with GPT 5.4 compared to Opus 4.6. Never tried GPT 5.5 since it has a crazy cost multiplier. I'm in a fortunate situation where I can get access to GPT 5.5 from work, and it's actually churning pretty well. I'm liking it. 5.4 did really good. 5.2, there was definitely a big jump from 5.2 to 5.4. I don't necessarily notice a huge jump from 5.4 to 5.5, but 5.5 is running just fine. And I find that so wild to say because I really wanted to like Anthropic. I didn't want to like OpenAI. And now I'm looking at the results though, and the results are telling me OpenAI is very clearly winning at this point in the race, right? Something happened. Anthropic has lost a shoe. They got to go back and pick it up, and then maybe they'll pull ahead. And they're not winning any favors with all their cloak and dagger crap around Mythos. Oh, it is dancing. Hang on. There you go. I fixed it. It's because it was playing the background. Hang on. I got so much stuff up. It was playing the background here. It was peeking through the bottom of the screen. So yeah, that's my wallpaper engine running right there. The colors, Duke, the colors! I'm colorblind, kid. Let's see. Actually, there was something that came up as I was... Oh, let me turn the background music off. This came up from Hack the Box when I logged in just before the stream started. They've got their AI red teaming certification. Let's take a look at it real fast. Oh yeah. Code floating. This has Canva written all over it. Certified Offensive AI Expert. I actually got a buddy who took this. I need to go see what he thought of it. Prompt injection LLM attacks. Learn unique AI evasion techniques. AI privacy and defense. Be the human in the middle. I think he actually... I'm gonna turn this video off. I think he actually did like the course when he went through it, but I'll have to go ask him. It's one of my good buddies. He's already gone through it. My engine used like 10 gigabits of RAM, I swear. I wish, man. Dude, it's also, there's another funny thing about this too, right? So as the demand for AI systems kind of goes up, I'm not expecting it to continue going up forever. I don't know, actually, because the theory is, what was that? I don't think it was the new DeepSeek model. There was one model that was just released that has 1.6 trillion parameters. So that is going to roughly equate to, at FP8, right? That means each parameter is basically 1 byte. So that roughly equates to 1.6 terabytes of RAM that you need to run that. If you're running it at full strength, right? There's ways you can chop this down and make it smaller. But this is an insane amount right here. That's an insane amount of memory to run. Yeah, which R4 was that disclosure? I'm brain cooked today, guys. I'm gonna be real with you. I've been out in the sun for like, I don't know how many hours today, like doing hard work. I had to clean up the whole backyard, trim a bunch of trees with broken limbs, and also clean out the chicken coop because the chickens were just, they're disgusting. They're disgusting birds. I wouldn't keep them if they didn't give me eggs. Which model was that just got released? It was something like 1.6 terabytes. Or 1.6 trillion parameters. Oh, it was DeepSeek V4. That must have been it. Yeah. Now, the one thing about DeepSeek is it's a mixture of experts. So it's not firing all 1.6 trillion parameters at once. It does, was it 49 billion active parameters. So that doesn't mean you only need 49 gigs of RAM to run it. You need that to hold it all in memory, but only 48 gigs worth of that is going to be used at any one time.
RNO Gumby cheered 5 bits and says, "That bread is looking sexy, Daddy Blaise, ooh woo."
I'm thinking that was the beard. Not sponsored by Jocko. Yet, that's right. Not yet. But yeah, today was... Actually, I take it back. At the start of the stream, I did have a few minutes. I had like 10 minutes to go read the kids a bedtime story. By the time I got them fed and showered and just corralled. And just that 5 minutes of like laying in the bed, I got up and I was like, everything was sore already. I'm like, man, tomorrow's gonna suck. Let's see. I don't know. What do I want to do tonight, guys? We could go... I didn't have anything planned for tonight. We could kind of go over here. We could do either some offensive hack the box or some defensive hack the box. What do y'all think? Do more let's defend? We could totally do that. I think I have some more let's defend tokens to give out also. Wait, you mean this isn't the K-pop movie review channel? No, this is not. I the only K-pop I know is literally K-pop Demon Hunters because all my nieces and nephews, including my children, all loved it. So, hold on, let's look at the closed alerts real quick. What have we done? Web attack, data leakage, unauthorized access. Let's try some of these other ones in here. Because I just noticed there's a Privesk in here, but there's also this one. There's a threat intel one here. We haven't done any of those. Maybe we'll go take that one and try it out. Let's see. How do we do prediction? I don't even remember. Will that work? Oh, wait, there it is. It's prediction. Hang on. Let's see. We can do hack the box or let's defend. There we go. There we go. We got a prediction going. We'll figure out what we want to do here. What do tonight? I didn't really have anything planned. Nothing I've got... I don't have a lot of the stuff set up to work on a few things. Honestly, I've been working a lot on my work laptop, building some stuff out, which is kind of annoying because obviously I can't use my work laptop over here. Oh, so Hack the Box definitely has it. So I guess we're going to do that. How's a prediction? It's an impromptu question on here. Let's see. Polls the function. I don't know. I don't do that. Fine, I'll do the poll. You made it 30 seconds. I did. Because people wanted to vote fast. Poll. How do I do poll? There we go. Okay, I could do a poll. Let's see. Who hasn't done one here? Hold on. I think I gotta need to look at. Let's see. Filters. Oh wait, these are all retired. Okay, cool. All right, here, hold on. We'll do another poll then. I don't think they've got a copy fail one. Actually, yeah, I misread your message at first for it. I thought you were saying do the copy fail box. Like, I don't think they've got a box out for that just yet. But that actually is kind of funny for the Privest side. Let's see. Okay, question. Wait, you were the only one to vote for the prediction? It said there were like 10 votes. Okay, hold on. What do tonight? Fine, we'll run a proper one. Let's do Hack the Box or Let's Defend. There we go. I got a proper poll going now. Giggity. There's a copy fail box on Try Hack Me. Ooh. I don't know, man. Try Hack Me's kind of on my doo-doo list right now. Because they're pulling some stuff that seems really, like, not metal. Let's see. What are we going to do here? OS? See if we can find some fun Windows ones to do. Let's see. Status, incomplete. Ones we haven't done yet. I clicked the wrong one. Can I vote again? I don't even know how the votes work, dude. I don't know what it means if it says it's like VIP Plus. Is that just... Oh, you have to upgrade to VIP Plus to play that one. Well, fine then. They're all VIP. Rip. Support's not, though. We could go do support. Job 2. Oh, what do I have to do? What do I have to upgrade to this one? I would actually go ahead and go get the Hack the Box upgrade. Hang on a sec. Let me check something real fast. Something happened to the Blaise Bits PayPal that I will not go into. And like all the money flew out of it. So I'm working to get the money back into it. It wasn't stolen or anything. It was a weird thing that PayPal does in how whenever you spend money, if you spend money like on a credit card, it uses your account balance first. So all the money that Blaise Bits has accumulated for like the last, I don't know, year just went whoop, when I was trying to pay for something completely different. It's not worth it because you're probably not going to use it for a month. I don't know, probably. Let's see. Hold on. If I come to upgrade, what do we get for VIP Plus? Let me see. 700 labs, guided mode, unlimited pwn box, earn CPE credits. I let my CISSP lapse anyway. Priority support. How much is it per year? Build yearly. So that would be about $200 a month, a little over 200. $25 a month that way. Okay. Yeah, we'll pass on it. Let me see what else we got here. We could go do support. Let's find another one in here. These are all VIPs. VIPs, non-VIPs. Can I filter those? Can't. What else could we do in here? This is kind of a chill out. Was that the only, like, retired non-VIP one? I suppose I could just go pay for a month. Could work on that. Have some fun. Hack the Box took it. Okay, we could do a little Hack the Box. Although, I gotta tell you all this real quick. So, one of the fun things I've been doing right now. So, like I said, I've got a program that I'm currently working on. It's a command line tool. And it's going through and making buffs to go through and like fire off on a C2 agent. Hey, Bobby, what's up, man? And so here's how I've got it testing it, right? So I'm doing all this in Codex, right? And then Codex is actually connected to that Mythic MCP server we built on stream, right? And actually, I found some bugs in it while doing this live testing. So it's been kind of cool. So it's actually working on the Mythic MCP, and it's also working on the BOF program here. Right? And then all this is actually connected. Oh, this guy over here is connected to our C2 that's over in the lab. So we got the lab going over here. Lab. Whoop. And then I've got agents from the C2 actually connected to machines in the lab. So it's really cool because it can go generate a BOF, send it up through the Mythic MCP over into the lab, and it can run it. Now, it's cool because I entered in two different ones in here. So basically, one of the callbacks is going to be like a control callback in here, and it's got instructions to never do anything with that. And then we've got like a worker callback. So what it will do is it will take this BOF here. Let me draw this in red. Take this BOF, zip it up here, zip it over to the C2, and then it will send it over to the worker and then pull down the response for it. So if it crashes it, then it can just use the control plane here to go spin up another worker. Boom. So it makes it so it can just like loop and loop and loop for the testing. It's been super handy. This is not a buffer overflow. This is a beacon object file in this case. So when you've got your C2 agent running in here, right? So let's say like this is something like Apollo, right? Apollo is one of my favorite ones to do testing with. You have two options whenever you're going to execute something. You could fork it down here as a sub-process and then run like whatever .NET binary you wanted to in here, PE binary. Or you could actually pass off execution from your main process down into a little dedicated space of memory. And this is where beacon object files come in. And so these beacon object files will actually execute inside this process. So this is a sub-process. This is called a fork and run. And it's a really easy pattern to detect. So whenever you use a beacon object file, it's coming from the primary process up here instead of the secondary process down here. Bad. Sometimes you do need to do a fork and run, but the problem is whenever you use these beacon object files, it has a really hard time sometimes. There's the worst case scenario that can happen is if you don't format the input correctly, the BOF just kills your agent, which could be detrimental to whenever you're doing a red team. The second thing it could do is you just have to go through so many iterations of trying to figure out, okay, did I format this correctly? Did I format this correctly? There's not a good way in Aggressor to do that. And I think you can kind of do it in Mythic. But the whole way this BOF CLI, let's call it that, BOF CLI, is working is that it is taking all of this and basically abstracting everything out of Aggressor and putting it into type checks for formatting to prepare everything for you to send over to the C2. So that's what I'm currently working on. And so I'm porting a whole bunch of different beacon object files that are really common into that kind of a setup. And it's pretty cool because sometimes it finds bugs in the original beacon object file and fixes them. I thought you were just a big fan of farts, you know, payloads. Damn it, Bobby. Damn it. Let's see. So these are all the retired ones they've got here. Oh, actually, hold on. These are all the retired Windows ones. Hang on. There's other ones in here that are not necessarily Windows we could do. I'm not doing an insane tonight because insane are hard enough to begin with, let alone whenever I am brain fried. Let's see. Supports an easy Windows machine. Maybe we'll pass on that one. What about AirTouch? This one's kind of a medium. Some people said it was a brain fuck. Extremely hard. Most people are saying it's kind of in the mid, though. Not harder than you, Daddy Blaise. Damn it, Gumby. Damn it, Gumby. Let me see something here. Let me bring up. Hang on one sec. Let me drop into OPSEC mode real fast. I got to get the connection over to the lab up and running. I might just go make a real brief Ludus lab for working in this. Actually, let me see what we got. Let me get connected over to the lab real fast. All right, here we go. Let's see. Close that out. Oh, I didn't turn off OPSEC mode. Whoops, there we go. What users do we have in? Let me see. I thought we had a... Oh, we do have a Hack the Box one. I don't think it has anything currently deployed, though. Let's see. Hack the Box, members. Oh, you know what? I think HTB is still running the Hackbot stuff. Yeah, so we don't want to use that one. What about Dev? Is Dev running anything? Ironically, Dev is not running anything. So hang on. Let's go spin up a new lab real quick. Let's see. Sudo dev. We don't have sudo? Sudo dev. There we go. Okay. Let's go look at this real quick. What did I have in here? Oh, this is when we were working on custom Ludus ranges. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, HTB was Hack the Bot. Yeah. Hey, Zach, what's up, dude? Which one is pterodactyl? No pterodactyls in here. Let me see. I want to... Let me see if I can do something real quick here. Yeah, because we don't have anything deployed in the dev range right now. Nothing's in there. Let's see. Ludus range list. Should be nothing. Yeah, we destroyed it. That lab was... Dunzos. Hold on. Zoom out just a little bit. There we go. All right. Let's go make a new one real quick. Let me see if anybody has this. Hang on, I'm trying to see if anybody already has like a pre-made Ludus range in here that we might be able to use. Okay, you know what? We'll just go make our own then. Let's do that. Let's see. I think I put NVim on here. I did. Okay, cool. Write this. We're gonna call this Hack the Box range dot yellow. All right. let's see. So one thing I need to do is, we'll go ahead and get this set up, like, from scratch here. Let's see. Let me pull up the Ludus docs real quick, because I don't remember what the format is here. Let's see. Environment guides. Here we go. This is not what Ludus is actually intended for, but you know what? We're going to do it anyway. Let's see. I bet the ADCS lab might have it. It doesn't look like it. Hold on. Basic Active Directory. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Where's Kali in here? Here's some nice Kali like this. So we just started with Ludus. Let's see. Ludus. And then we set some paste in here. There we go. All right. We need to change some of this. 4 CPUs is fine, but that is not going to be enough. You're going to get 16 gigs of RAM. And we'll do VLAN 1 right here. Host name. Good. Good, good, good. I think we've got that. Yeah. Is there a standard schema for beacon object files, or is it the issue you're tackling to try and conform to one? It's not so much that issue. It has more to do with how they're run and executed. And so I don't want to give it away too much because I'm putting it together as my next blog post. It basically explain everything in it. Basically what was the charge for the project and how that project actually kind of evolved and then was able to like generate and move everything and test them and get a very good baseline of a whole slew of different, beacon object files. Basically moving them over. Oh yeah, not sponsored by Jocko yet. Let's see here. Something else we need, you know what we can do? Let's go over to the AD lab. Why are we still in here? Oh, that's right. Dude, this is an old section. Let's just kill that sucker. Let's see. Let me do, let me just grep for that. Grep for dev in AD SCCM KCM. Okay, there's dev. And then what I want is, I think I can put it here. No, it needs to be like the last one. Grep TAC A10. Will that be enough? Not quite. 20. Here we go. There we go. So what I want all this information over here. We will take that and we're going to drop that over into good old NVIM. Just like that. Bam. And we're going to put you in VLAN 1 as well. So this will be .1. This one, last IP octet, will be .2. And we'll do 16 gigs of RAM on that one. That will be good. I think that's all we really need in here. I don't even know if we need XFCE. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't got my own blog set up yet, Talisman, but when I get it posted, I'll link to it so y'all can see it. Oh, Pterodactyl was the Hack the Box one you were recommending. Okay, hang on, let me go pull that up then. I got no problem with that. AirTouch, let's see. Pterodactyl. Now the problem is, I think Pterodactyl. Did we already do that one? Well, let me do both. It has to be a retired box, unfortunately. To do it on stream, we have to do it as a retired box. So if that one's not retired, we can't do it. Which is okay. It's okay. AirTouch is retired. It is retired. It's probably got something to do with a little bit of malicious Wi-Fi drivers. Check the last octet because I thought we used to in the past. It doesn't matter if we used it in the past, in this case, because this is going to be a completely new IP space. Yeah, completely new. So, We can do that. Let's see here. So the way IP spaces over in Ludus work, if you didn't know this, here's what happens. Let's clear all this out. We're getting a lot of mileage out of the whiteboard tonight. All right. So in Ludus, all the IP ranges always start with 10. The next octet here is going to be what's called the range number. And so the range number is just going to be dependent on whatever the user is. So every user has their own range number assigned to them. And then the third octet here is going to be the the VLAN. So that's the VLAN value here. And then whatever you assign as the last octet. So the last octet then comes in right here. So you could have identical labs deployed, but they're going to have different range numbers in here. Yeah, so you could have like 10 copies of the same range set up. 10 different users could have it. They're going to have different IP address schemas because they're all going to be having different range IDs. Let's see. Anything else I want to throw on this? Let me see. I think that actually probably good. Kali, we can just do a quick update, let it go do its thing. And then Dev, we could use for Mythic. And in fact, I might just try this. Let's see. Copy link address. Hang on one second. Let's pull this up. Someone actually made a Ludus role for using Mythic. Who made this? 0x Redpole. Giggity. Let's see. Let's see. Example range config. Here we go. So he did this on Debian 12. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. When did he make this? He made it last year. I like this, but you know what? It's easy enough to go set up Mythic, so I'm not going to worry about trying to do that. I think this is all we need. Kali for general operations, and then we can have Mythic as its own machine running Debian. This one's set to run Debian 13. That should be fine. I think that should be good. Anything else we should run in here? Funny how no one ever uses 172.16. I know, right? It's like the bastard of IP addresses. Oh no, another Song of Ice and Fire themed lab. Oh, it's from Mayfly though. Okay. Oh wait, wasn't Dracarys the one that is supposed to be more or less like a randomized version of Goad so you could test it with AI agents? Or am I thinking of a different one? They had a specialized version of Game of Active Directory that it was designed to randomize things. So rather than everything being strictly like Song of Ice and Fire themed, right? Game of Thrones themed, it randomized it so that you have the exact same attack paths, same vectors, same users, or different users, but I think same passwords. But it randomized everything so you could have a clean, let's say, tainted testing experience against different AI models. Oh, it's souped up Goad? Okay. Let me see here. New lab environment challenge. When did he release this? March 8th? Oh, this is fairly recent. Okay. Lab consists of 3 machines, 2 Windows 2025 and an Ubuntu 2404 server, all connected to the same Active Directory domain. Ooh, you have my attention, sir. Joining a Linux machine to a Windows domain is not super simple. It's not very complicated, but it also means that you can then, if you compromise that Linux machine, then you can jump over to Active Directory. Let's see. So you start with a Linux machine on the 12 IP. Oh, maybe that's the Ubuntu one? I'm not sure. Let's see. The Ubuntu server is fully integrated into the domain, allowing us to do stuff. Several techniques and tools you'll need to be using. So the lab's available for VirtualBox, VMware, Ludus. Nice. Dracarys is written as a training challenge, where Goad was written as A lab with maximum vulns. Oh. Oh. Very nice. So you should find your way into the domain to get domain admin. Using vagrant user is prohibited, of course. Yeah. Obviously, do not cheat by looking at the passwords and flags in the recipe files. The lab will start without user to... The lab must start without user to full compromise. Okay. So if you install code previously, your Ansible requirements may not be up to date. And then it's ready to play after you run this stuff. Okay. Do they have this in... Let me see. They don't have Dracarys in here. Hold on, did he give an example for how to do it with Ludus? Let's see. Because honestly, my Ansible is like kind of trash. Oh, Dreadgo. That was the one I was thinking about. Yeah. That's cool. I might actually use Dreadgoad when I work on Hackbot some more. Honestly, it's so hard to think about where to take Hackbot. I've got an idea. I need to go back and look at it again. Honestly, it's been kind of shelved because there's been other stuff that I've been working on kind of in its place, right? Oh, wait, was it linked on the page? Hold on. Oh, I'm blind. I told you guys I was brain cooked from today, right? Brain cooked. You know what? This one will probably take a little bit to deploy, but you know what we could do? We could actually... Let's get the Hack the Box lab set up. Let's get that lab set up. Once that's up, we can work on AirTouch a little bit tonight. Try to get through it. We'll just tinker around. We'll hack around and find out. And then while we're doing that, we could actually go set Dracarys to deploy, and hopefully you'd be ready for tomorrow night. Because these labs, depending on how deep they get, let's see, because you're going to have a Debian 11, Debian 12. Oh, wait, hold on. This is the templates. My bad. It's actually said it's only deploying 3 machines, so it might not take very long. It depends on how deep the configuration has to go on those 2025 machines. Also, hey, Deefus, what's up, dude? To it, yeah, let's do that. Let's set up the Hack the Box range for funsies tonight. And then while we're working on Hack the Box tonight, we can go set up Dracarys, and we can go hack on it tomorrow night. Because chances are, we got 2 hours left in the stream. It's not going to probably finish before that 2 hours is up. But I like this idea. All right, let's do this first. Let's go get this guy running here. And chances are, it's probably going to throw a fit. Let's see. Ludus range set. What did I call this? Hack the Box range. Oh, it's config set. And it's going to say we're probably missing an Ansible role. Oh, Ludus VLAN 1 it doesn't like. Okay, fine. Fine. Let's go. Okay, fine. VLAN, how about 10? Will that make you happy? Will that appease your tortured soul? And then it's probably going to say we're missing something. The Gearling Docker. Oh, how did I do that? I gotta go find Jeff Gearlings. Actually, you know what? We don't even need it. Come to think of it. Because... Hang on. Where is it? 4. Let me rename this real quick. Let's see. Rename. Window. The box. There we go. We can actually take that out. It doesn't save us a ton of time. Oh. There we go. Let's just nuke that off of here. Let's see. Delete that and undo. Get rid of this. There we go. Damn it. All right, fine. I do want it to go install. You know what? It doesn't need that either. You know what? We don't need it. I don't need it. There. We'll make it very, very basic. Okay. Ludus, range, deploy. There we go. So we'll get the hack the box range set up quick. Let's see. Range logs, tac F. It should be able to spin up Debian and Kali real fast. Have I upgraded to Ludus 2? I thought I did. Hang on. Let's see. Ludus version? Yeah, we're on Ludus 2 now.
Arno Gumby cheered 5 bits and says, "Oh yeah, sweating daddy ooh woo."
I hate that I showed you solo leveling abridged.
Arno Gumby cheered 5 bits and says, "The military told me that I was being drafted. You know what I did? Iran."
And Iran, Iran's so far away. Oh, man. Let me see. Oh, I need to go add a user for this. What is it? I think it's Ludus user. What's the command? Add. Username. Crap. How do you spell Dracarys? Dracar. Yes. Okay. Dracar. Yes. There we go. And then let's see. I don't know. Do I want to set a password? I overdosed on a bottle of omega-3s. Luckily, I only had super fish oil injuries. That was a stretch on the pun, but I like it, Ken. What's up, dude? Wait, you don't have to make a new user each time with Ludus 2? Really? You can have multiple ranges? I'm so far behind on my Ludus lore right now. That was one of the key changes they made? Oh, I forgot about that. Let's see. Hang on. Let me pull it up real quick. Let's see. How to upgrade, what the migration does, troubleshooting. Hold on.
Arno Gumby cheered 5 bits and says, "Why was 9/11 like a bad sequel? First hit was shocking. Second felt forced."
No. Bad Gumby. Bet. Let's see. Where was the... Hold on. So how do we deploy it with... Hold on, I'm trying to find the commands I need to run here. Oh, you don't... So you could literally just go deploy 2 different ranges in there. Okay, hang on. Let me try something here. I think I had one that was Goad. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we had the Goad range config. Okay, here, let's go pull up the instructions and we'll try it. Because I think I might still have a Goad one already in here. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I can do that on root. Let's see. CD to Ludus. Let me pull down the latest version real quick. Because then what we want to do is we want to CD over to the templates. And then we want to... I think we already had 2025. Let me see here. Ludus templates. List. Ludus template list. You're killing me, Smalls. Templates. I can't type. Templates list. So we need for this one 2025 and Ubuntu 2404. Okay, so we're missing Ubuntu 2404, so we need to go build that one. But we have Windows 2025 server. Okay, so we can go do that. Oh, do I need to actually tell it like what user? User Goad. Oh, very cool. Okay. So then we need to go build that one. Let's see. Ludus template build this one right here. Okay. Well, it should only build that one. We'll let that one go out there. All right. Okay, cool. We get out of that. So now this one should be good. Let's do Ludus range list. All right. Yes. We got all these. All right, so we should be able to. Let me go over here. Let me add a new folder. And we'll call this one Hack the Box. Let's see, did I have one in Ghost? I did. Oh, I gotta actually duplicate it. That's rude. Let's see. Hang on one second. I'm just changing the IP address here. That should be 1310. Sure. Let me drag that down in here to Hack the Box. Change the name. Hey, there we go. All right, cool. Let's go get us a root terminal and let's do some updates. It didn't launch a root terminal for some reason. You know, like root terminal? Okay, can you launch me a normal terminal? There we go. Zoom. Okay. Let's see. Sudo apt update. I think it's just to Kali? There we go. Let's go ahead and get Kali updating real quick. This is local and on a VM. Technically. So I have a server set up down here. It's an old Dell T7600 And I've got dual Xeons in it with like 256 gigs of RAM. I'm very glad I bought that RAM when I did, because it lets me run lots and lots of virtual machines on it. Let's see. We're going to do a big install here. Big install. Yeah. Well, thankfully, this server... So before, the RAM sharing, right? When all the RAM just ascended on high into the hyperscaler clouds, RAM for this system was not very expensive. So that 256 gigs I got, I want to say I only paid about $200 for it, because it's used system RAM. Even though it is ECC RAM, it wasn't that bad. So, yeah, I upgraded this a couple years ago before I just started streaming. I never thought we'd be able to sell RAM and pay for our kids' college. I know, man. I'm going through and I'm looking at old RAM sticks. I'm like, hey, man, you want some pristine DDR3? You can open so many Chromium instances with that. I know, right? I love that. It's like, what are you going to do with all that RAM? Run 2 Chrome tabs at the same time. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I have dual Xenos, but instead of bugs, I have Thetans. Ken, I consider myself something of a dad joke aficionado, but at the same time, you continually surprise me, sir. Hang on one sec. Let me get... Hear from Dev. It's our Kali SSH. That's not what I want. Maybe from Ghost? No. Which one did I want? AD Lab. Dev. Duplicate. And let me just change the IP address on this. So this should be still 10. This should be .2 though, and this should be 3. So let me move this down here. And we'll call this one Mythic. I'll just call it Debian. There we go. Let me open this guy up real fast. Yes. Connect. All right, let me close some of these. Close, close, close. There we go. Zoom in here. Let's see. Sudo apt update. And then let's just sudo up real quick, and then we'll cd over to opt, and then I'm gonna go git clone down some Mythic real quick. Let's see. Actually, where's the installation? Here we go. Do this real quick. Drop that, and then we're gonna put this into the Mythic folder. Let me see. What tools do I need? I need Vim, NetTools. Yes. We'll start with those. There we go. Dreadcode also has Dracaris. Oh, fancy. Nice. Like I said, once I start working on Hackbot some more, we'll go test that out. We'll have some fun with it. All right. Wait, where the hell did it put it? Oh, it didn't clone it because we couldn't clone it. There we go. Okay. CD to Mythic. Ah, damn it. You know what else I forgot? T-Mux. There we go. Ah, better. Okay. So now that we're over here... Hold on. I gotta fix something real quick. I need to set up a couple of aliases real quick. Let's see. Open. Let's see. Alias. Gonna be ls tac la, and then one more alias in here. Sudo apt install y. There we go. Excellent, because I'm going to need that. All right, where is... I've got a couple of DDR3 RAM sticks laying around. It's probably about 32 to 64 gigs. Yeah. I mean, my desktop is still running DDR4. I think this computer is probably running like DDR3 ECC. So, I mean, it's nothing super fantastical. Let's see. Install Docker Debian. Let's see if it works. LSB release not found. Oh, you know what we can do? We can do this with Tasso. Let's see. Agent Smith, thank you for coming online. Welcome in. All right, hang on. All right, hang on. Let me get rid of this file real quick. Let's go ahead and upgrade this real fast. Yeah, I was actually thinking about Dreadcode for testing Hackbot once I get back over to it, and then having... Yeah, that's basically kind of what I was thinking about. Maybe throw a little bit of Kubernetes in there. I do like some Kubernetes. Okay, so now, let's see, task, select, let's see, don't want any of this. I do want, should have SSH server already. Let me see what we got here. I'm trying to get to just install the base default tools in here. Was that it? What was the error we saw? Let me see. Unable to locate that package? Really? Hang on, let me see if I can find this real quick. What's the file I'm looking for? Etsy. No. I gotta remember how to check our Debian version. Oh, it's literally, yeah, it's Debian version. Oh, this is Debian 13. It's probably busted it. Let me think about this. Because we need to get Docker on this system so we can run this real quick. Let's see. So we already did our update. Let's see. We need to get some updates in curl in here. All right. Let me go curl the Docker downloader. And we'll do a little bit of chmod. Thankfully, I found a nice little thing for this. Hopefully these commands are working. Let's see. And then app update. Okay, that looked like it worked. Okay. And then plus I can go check my new alias. Yeah, the alias worked. Nice. No, RMRF is the resume maker. Yeah, RM is the resume maker tool, and the TAC RF says do it really fast. Oh, there's one more left? Oh, no.
RNO Gumby cheered 5 bits and says, Post 9/11 hole. Ground Zero? More like Ground Hero, where superheroes go to retire.
What the fuck? I don't even get that one, Gumby. Alright, so now we should have Docker in here. Okay, cool. I need to do one more thing, and that is user mod. Hold on. I can't remember how to do this. I think it's tech AG, Docker, Debian. I think it'd be like that. There we go. So now the Debian user will also be a Docker user. Actually, it doesn't really matter because we don't have to do everything through root in here anyway. So. Oh, you're heading out? Okay, Gumby. Have a good night, man. Let me see. So we should have all that in place now. So now what we should be able to do is, let's go get Mythic set back up. We got to build the Mythic CLI. Just real easy. Make. I think it's build tools. There we go. All right, so now we should have the Mythic CLI in here. Okay. So then, should see. Is that one? It is execute. Okay. So, Mythic CLI, and then we should just be able to install it now, if I remember correctly. We could customize the env, but we're not worried about that. Let's see. I think it's just install is the command. Maybe it's start? There you go. That'll start building the containers. Okay. So the containers are building. Let's go check on Kali and see what it's doing real quick. It's still installing packages. Okay. We'll get this set up, and then we can, after this is good, we'll get Dracarys to start building. And in fact, actually, we could probably start working on that right now. Let's see. Lotus templates. List. Okay, Ubuntu is still building, so we can't move on from that just yet. Never that fun being safe. Dude, one of my buddies actually, he was just traveling to, he was traveling out of town going to Ireland because that's where his wife is from. And so he sent me a message once he got into the airport. He's like, all right, just got through TSA. I was like, awesome, man. How's your butthole feel? And he's like, it's still sore from where I fell off my bike. He's got an e-bike. It goes pretty fast. It goes like 35 miles an hour, I think. He's like, now it's just a little extra spicy. It's like they put a little stank on it. Oh, you finished, dude. I I know that feeling of doing like pre-travel laundry. Yeah. All right, this is building right now. Let's see. You know what I need to do also is, ooh, I just realized something. We might have to do a wee bit of shenanigans in here. because I just realized since Debian will be running Mythic, we're going to be VPN'd into the environment. Yeah, I'll have to work on it. Hey, Peaches. Do you need to go outside? Ah, crap. Hang on one sec, guys. I gotta go let Peaches out. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Peaches also, apparently, did not just need to go out. She was also mad because she was out of water, poor puppy. Let's see. All right, everything should be up for the Mythic. Let's go double check. I gotta turn that screensaver off. I think it's power management. Display, power management. There we go. Close. All right, hang on. Let me pull up. Firefox. No. I think it's Chromium browser. Maybe it's Chromium. There we go. Don't care. Let's see. So this should be able to go to 10.3.1.2. 7443. That should work. Nope, it's not 1 though. It's 10. There we go. All right. Mythic's coming up. Awesome. I got to go figure out what the admin password was though. Hang on. So, let's see. Grep attack I admin from .id. There it is. Oh, it's actually Mythic admin. Hang on. Let me grab the password real quick. Let's see. Can't type. There we go. Blow this up. Zoom it in a wee bit. All right, there we go. Password 1234. Actually, it will be once I go make a new user here. Let's see, settings. Add a user. And then create. And then make it admin. All right, there we go. Because I know I'm going to forget that. There we go. Awesome. New operation. What did we call it? What hack the box were we getting ready to do? Hang on. Which one was that? It was AirTag? AirTouch. Okay. AirTouch. Let's make a new operation here. Smooth operator. Okay. Excellent. We'll have to get some more stuff set up over in Mythic, though. We'll probably go get Poseidon. Let's see. What do we need for Poseidon? We need, let's see, Mythic HTTP profile. Yep, we need that. And then we also need Mythic agent Poseidon. Let's go get that. Copy that. And so to get this set up will be really fast. We just come over here. We run our little Mythic CLI. And then what is it? It's install GitHub Poseidon. And that'll get us Poseidon. And then we'll come over to this one and we'll do the same thing with some HTTPs. I am in the Blaise account. Different Mythic server, Gumby. That was in a different range. As far as they're concerned, they don't even see each other. So yeah, so I had to go make a new user. This is a fresh Mythic setup just for Hack the Box stuff. Yeah. Man, Poseidon is chunky. It's written in Go, so it makes sense. 1.9 gigabits. 1.9 gigabits. Let's see. Oh, so that all finished. So that should be good. We should at least have some basic tools set up in there now. Yeah, pretty much. Completely new machines in here, Gumby. So not just different IP addresses, completely new virtual machines on the system. Oh, you know what we need to check? It's still building Ubuntu? Good lord. Slow? All right, we're giving this just a second because right now it's building the Docker container that it needs for the Poseidon agent. Basically, everything you plug into Mythic becomes its own service, and each service plugs in as its own Docker container. Still pulling. Giggity. Let's see. That's okay. Do we have Open VPN on here? All right, we do. We'll probably have to do a tiny bit of scrambling around with this. So since we're in this IP range, right? So we have .1 set up as Cali. That's terrible. Cali, right? And then .2 is going to be Mythic in here. But the problem is only this one right here is going to have VPN access, the way Hack the Box is set up. So what we'll do is we'll set up like a forward listener on here. So we'll make this port, I don't know, maybe like 8080 or maybe just like 88888, right? 8888. We'll have this forward over to Mythic's port 80 for HTTP callbacks. So we'll go through and we'll set up an SSH forwarder here. And that will allow us to continuously forward traffic back and forth between the two. We don't need proxy chains for this particular one because proxy chains works a little bit differently. This is going to be like essentially a reverse proxy in here. So going from Kali to Mythic. Proxy change is more of a forward proxy, where if you have different hops that you want to do, and you've got some program over here that doesn't speak proxying, proxy chains will intercept and inject itself into the network stack, and then build a tunnel here. But then it will actually use this to build a tunnel over to here, right? And then it will build this one, if need be. You could have as few or as many of these as you needed until finally you hit the target right here. So from the target's perspective, this node looks like the source. In actuality, you're building all these tunnels kind of inside of each other. So you've got another one inside of another one, and then you've got another one inside of another one. Hang on. I'm going to color code these. So this will be the primary tunnel right here. This is what the net effect is going to be. But what you're really doing is, here, you're going to have another tunnel here that essentially gets you this one, like this. That's how it's going to look. And then we'll have another one on top of that. That's going to go right here. But is actually going to form this particular tunnel right here. Just like that. Here, let me do this. There we go. So that's how these kind of stack in here. This one built out the first proxy hop, and then basically they kind of collapse down each time until finally when you get to the last one, it actually touches the target. That's why when this target sees it, it sees this last node as being like the source for it. So this would be like a forward proxy right here. What we're doing over here is this is going to be a reverse proxy. Like that. So the connections that come in on 8888 on Kali are going to be forwarded over to port 80 on Mythic over here. So then when we set up our payloads, we'll set up our C2 profile to call back to the Kali IP address, whatever that is, and then it will connect on port 8888, but then Kali is going to receive that IP address, see the port traffic, and then transparently forward it over to Mythic on port 80. I just always use the pencil tool. Okay, cool. So we got that now. We need another service, which is this one right here. So let me git clone this one. So now what we'll do is same thing, but now we're going to install the actual HTTP profile. So now we'll have a profile in here, and then we'll have an agent that knows how to use that profile. Perfect. I know you are, Gumby. I know. So now if we come back over to Mythic, should be this one right here. And if we come over to our, where is it? I think it's here. Well, yeah, this will show it to us. So we have the Poseidon payload, and we have the HTTP one right here. Not accepting connections. Oh, there we go. Now accepting connect. That's right. You better accept connections. So what we'll have to do is each time we build this, we'll have to go through and we'll connect to OpenVPN. We'll have that all set up in there. Let me hide that. Oh, did you make tea? Ah, thank you. Yummy. Hang on one sec, guys. All right, I'm back. Sock had to tell me something about the chitlins. By the way, Gubby, I told her how whenever she pokes her head in, people in the chat say hi, Sock, and she thought it was really funny. All right, let's see here. So we got this going. I think we're all set for what we're going to need here. The last thing we just need to do we have Tmux? We do have Tmux, yes. All right, let's rename this window to our VPN. And what we need to do is we need to go over to Hack the Box and go get a VPN cred real quick. Let's see, connect. Let's see. Open VPN. Download VPN file. Save. Yeah, man, dude, if you make it down towards Dallas, let me know.
So files are big.
Okay.
It takes like 50 megabytes to store 4 minutes of audio. But if we delete everything that the brain...
Hang on one second. Let me go into OPSEC mode so I can go pull this up.
...is what processes all the stuff that you get through your ears. So the first thing is, you have a limited range of what you can hear. So it starts about 20 hertz, goes up to about 20 kilohertz, and then you're into dog whistle range, and then afterwards...
Let me grab this, come drop it into the lab real quick.
But inside of that, you can pretty much hear stuff. One of the first things I'm going to demonstrate is called the missing fundamental. So all sounds are made up of sine waves,
And what was this one
there's a
called?
fundamental one
Hang
that
on,
you
stand
can
by.
pitch, and then
I'm just setting up the VPN real fast here.
essentially what happens is if you delete the fundamental pitch and keep all of the rest of them, your brain
There we go.
actually will
Okay.
find the fundamental
Should be good now.
through your ears. Your
I
brain
think I need to do sudo open VPN.
your brain
All right, so we should be good there. And then if we do an IF, do we have IF config still? Oh, good, we do. But we can just do ton 0 right here. There we go. So this should be our internal IP address right here. 10.10.15.134. Right here.
now this one
So
I'm
now,
going to show you what this is. It seems really simple. You hear
Start
things
machine.
that happen in the world. Air vibrates, it vibrates your ear, your brain hears it, but it's really like magic. There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on. Some of those things. Magic.
all right. I should have started the machine a minute ago now that I think about it.
The pitch rising. Magic.
So the first blood for this one, for the very first user, took 1 hour and 5 minutes. Took him 2 hours and 18 minutes to get the root user.
Continuously rising pitch. Here, and I'm going to show you what this is.
Yeah, we're using the Hack the Box VPN up here. Because you only had 2 options, right? You could use the Pwn Box, which is like a virtual machine hosted by them. I'm not super keen on that. I've got better equipment. And so, for me, it just doesn't make any sense.
Another thing that's kind of funny is tonight.
Let's see, what do they say for machine info? So AirTouch is a medium difficulty Linux machine built around a wireless attack path initiated from a consultant workstation.
Like some noise in that hole.
Oh, it actually tells you, starting with SNMP enumeration, valid credentials for the consultant account can be oh, no, don't tell me the whole thing.
Your brain really likes to react.
I was just wanted like a brief overview of it. Not a, hey, here's how you go through and do the whole thing. All right, well, we know how to get the user flag now, it looks like. Let's see. All right, we're still waiting for the machine to boot up. Ah, there we go. All right. Let's copy that. Let's just go. Let's do a quick, just like in-map scan.
It tricks your brain.
Just a real quick one. Okay, we have SSH open. Q. All right. So now you might be wondering, since we already kind of spoiled ourselves in here, do we have unicorn scan? Hold on.
Just completely fill in all of the missing information.
We do have unicorn scan. Okay. I have not used unicorn scan in forever. But
And you'll still fill it in. It's actually pretty crazy.
let's see. I believe we just tell it like what we want to scan in here.
Crazy.
Nope, not that. Crap, what was the IP address? Copy. No, that's not what I told you to do. Copy. You're killing me, Smalls. Oh, I think we probably have to run that as sudo. Oh, unicorn scan. Poseidon to work on Linux? Yeah, pretty much. Because we're expecting this to be a Linux system. We probably should also go add maybe Apollo into the mix so we have something that works on Windows. Because Poseidon is for Mac. Actually, I don't remember. Hang on. Let's go look real quick. Let's see. Yeah, Linux and Mac. That's what I thought. So Poseidon is a Go-based agent, so it works on Linux and Mac. You technically probably could get Poseidon to work in Windows if you did some re-architecting to it, but I think it was probably too much of a pain. Yeah, so fun bit of trivia there, Agent Smith, is that Apfel was the original C2 that evolved into Mythic. So it was kind of cool because Cody, the guy that wrote Mythic, he started with Apfel as a C2 agent for Mythic. Hey, Don, what's up? We're just doing a little bit of hack the box. We're hacking around and finding out. We're just chilling out for a second. So, yeah. So when Mythic C2 first started, right? It started as just Apfel, which was a C2 to work on Macs. And then he kept working on it. It eventually evolved into Mythic. And then Apfel became an agent of Mythic. Let's see. I think we've got just about everything we need, except for some reason Unicorn Scan's not running. Let's see. That's right. We'll just do this with Nmap then. So you can do... Let's see. I'm going to leave the PN in there. That says don't do a ping. And then we'll do... was it? UDP scan. And then we'll also do a version scan on there. And we need to give it the IP address. We'll see if it comes back with anything on here. Because we do know that I spoiled it where we start with SNMP by just trying to read the about the box in there. First time seeing Mythic? I love Mythic. It has a tiny bit of a steep learning curve to it, but it is really cool. It's super easy to set up once you've got Docker in place. It's not really meant to run on Windows, but you kind of can. It's really more meant for running on Linux. That's why we deployed the Debian machine into the lab for that very reason. Oh, you know what else we need to do? Let me do that again. Let's split this guy real quick. We need to do a port forward. So let's see, SSH tech L. And we're going to do, I think, 8888 over to 10.3.10.2 on port 80. Like that. And then we're going to log in as Debian at, what's this? 10.3.10.2. That should work. Let's see. Debian's password is just Debian. Hey, there we go. Let me blow this up real quick. Let's do this. Grep for... Actually, it wouldn't be on this side. Never mind. That's our SSH connection right there. We could do it over here, though. Let's see. Because what I want to do is I want to make sure that port is actually listening real quick. And then we'll just grep for 8888. Yeah, there we go. So you see, we have SSH listening on... well, two, actually. We have it listening on... 127001? Okay, that's not right. Hang on. We need to go fix that. I believe it when you don't specify what it's going to be listening on, it doesn't like it. So we'll do 0.0.0.0 like that. Yeah, there we go. Now it's listening on all ports. Before it was just listening on the local loopback, which is not what we wanted. We wanted this listening on all ports so that when that traffic comes back on the VPN address, it will go forward with it. Yeah. Kali does support IPv6, but we're not going to be using any IPv6 in this lab. In fact, people hate IPv6 so much, they've already started working on IPv8. They're like, okay, maybe if we fix some of the annoyances of IPv6 and just completely skip 7 and go right to 8, maybe people will start adopting it. We can get off IP4. Oh. I sat through an entire class on IPv6, and IPv6 has some really dumb features to it. You don't need 14 different IP addresses for it. I'm exaggerating, but it's bad. Was the IPv8 paper a joke? I thought it was legit. Yeah, IPv6 was the future 25 years ago, exactly. But then, let's see. So I've been in IT professionally for 16 years now. And they were all about IPv6 back then. And still everyone hates IPv6 and nobody wants to use it. It's just such a pain, man. It's such a pain. All right. Hold on. Where did our in-map scan come back with? Did it come back with anything? Oh, that is terabad. Let's narrow this down. What is SNMP's port? I don't remember. 161, that's right. Let's do 161 to 162. Because we already know what those are going to be in there. There we go. Yeah, so there we go. So we do see that we've got SNMP server set up in here. So let's go do an SNMP walk on it. I remember what I'm going to use for that. It's been so long since I've had to use these. I just don't use them in my day-to-day work anymore. Let's see. Tell you what, let's grab a little notepad right here, where we can keep some info. So here's our first scan right there. So copy. We'll save that real quick. I'm going to take... Oh, look at that. Service info host consultant. Oh, my. Yeah. Hey, Cankles, what's up, dude? Happy Saturday. Also waiting on Pearl 6 at the time. Is IPv6 popular in Europe? I'm not sure. Hey, disclosure, if you're still in here, is IPv6 popular in Europe? Oh, dude, we're just hacking around tonight. We're doing a Hack the Box lab while Ludus is getting over here, and we're trying to build out... Okay, good, that got built. I thought this took forever, building this Ubuntu template. Because what we're going to do is we'll go in and we're also going to set up a different range to hack on for tomorrow night. And it is this one, Dracarys. All right, so that's where we build the templates. We're good there. Let's see. So we need to clone the Goad project. Oh, this is the Goad variant of Dracarys. Okay. Actually, we might already have that. Yeah, we do. Let me just do a git pull on it. Oh, this is a good thing to note, by the way. Let's see. So by default, Goad will use Ludus to create new user Goad X something for each new lab. If you want to use a specific username, create the user with Ludus, set the API for the user, disable impersonation by setting this in .goad.ini. Okay, hold on. So I need to go modify that. Use impersonation, no. I don't want to set up a new user. Ah, undo. That's rude. Oh, because that folder doesn't even exist. Okay, hold on. We gotta make the folder first. There we go. Use impersonation note. Because I wanted to deploy this inside here. I got an example of this actually. So what it likes to do, You can kind of see it up here. See how there's this goad user with this weird thing? So what it did is it actually went through and made like a new user and deployed it in there, and I didn't want it to do that. I wanted it to deploy inside the goad user itself. I heard European chicks dig IPv6. So my company, for example, never used it, and no one has an IPv6 assigned. But I can talk to the whole of Europe. I can't talk to the whole of Europe, just the UK. That's kind of how it works. Hang on. I'm still here. Hey, Palmer, what's up, dude? So, well, hold on. Was the IPv8 one just like a joke? Yeah, so the draft for it was released April 14th, 2026. A bunch of people are theorizing it might be available to, in late 2026, but I doubt that. Yeah, that was just a proposal. Okay, somebody was saying that they thought it was an April Fool's joke. I was like, it didn't come out on April Fool's, though. Let's see here. All right, so what else do we need to do? We did that. Let me CD over into Legode real quick. Oh, I'm already there. All right, so after we CD over to it, I'm pretty sure we already have this already good in here. I'm gonna run it again, just in case. Sudo command wasn't found? Alright, that's fine. Here, do this. I'm surprised the sudo command wasn't found in there. There we go. RFPs are jokes, so they often get changed, but I doubt the world would... I doubt that would be used for a joke. Okay. I know, they've had some funny ones, though. Like the coffee pot one. I think that was another one of the April Fool's jokes that they did. Let me rename this. Goad. There we go. Alright, so now I need to go get my Ludus key. Hang on. I gotta drop into OPSEC mode real quick. Let's see. Where is that? Yeah. Oh, we should be good, actually. Hold on. Yeah. I forgot. I've already got that done. Alright, so after we set that up, we should just be able to go do this. Basically, I think that sets the provider. It didn't like that. Do I need to, unknown task? I think I might need to actually, oh, let's do this. Let's get rid of Goad. And let's go do the proper git clone of it. I don't know why it is saying this. Let's reclone this sucker real quick. I can see through the OPSEC. Good luck. I shined my laptop into the light. You can't hide from me. That's right. Those like really crappy redactions where like you just hold it up to the light and you can read through it. IPv9 was also proposed. Oh yeah. I don't see that one coming anytime soon. No. Let's see. So now, once we have this, now let's try this again. There we go. Okay, maybe it changed a little bit. Maybe I had cloned the wrong code. Or I was in a particular branch, I don't know. But anyway, now it's working. So it's setting up the virtual environment for everything. Hey, look, there's our boy Gearling again. Extracting Gearling guy, MySQL, into the Goat Ansible roles. Nice. I just want to kick this one off, and then we'll work on going through Hack the Box some more, because this this build is probably going to take most of the night. Well, that's not good. Hold on, where's our virtual environment in here? Did it not make us one? Hold on, what's the error we're getting in here? Goad args. File contains no section headers. Oh. Okay, let's get rid of that then. It doesn't like our Goad INI. And so we'll let it create it, and then we'll go put that in there. All right, hang on. Wait. Exit. And then what I need to do is vim this. And personation. Nope. There we go. Now that's what I want. Okay. So now once we're in the mini terminal, we can do check. We can do set lab Dracaris. All right. What does check do? All right, good. Set lab Dracaris. And then once that's good, we just do an install. Create lab with these settings. Yes. All right, cool. Now that's probably going to take most of the night to build because it's using Windows boxes. They take a long time. It's using some kind of since it's got like basically a little CLI shell command in there. I could go dig into it and see what it was doing with the virtual environment, but then as I actually read the damn error, it said it didn't like the INI file that I had pre-created, so it was crashing out on it. All right, we could let that run now. It's gonna take it a minute. What's up with this screensaver? Let's see. No, that's not what I want. Settings manager. Let me see. Screensaver. There we go. Turn that off. All right. Anyway, so coming back over to here, what we've got is, so we know SNMP's on the box, right? We got our target IP, which is this guy right here. SNMP's on the system. So there's usually two strings I like to go check for this. Hold on. What did it say it was? Let's see. I believe this is telling me that it already knows that public is there. So let's go look at that real quick. So what we'll do is when we run SNMP walk, let's see, SNMP walk, mutity string, public. And I believe we just give it the IP address. Let me copy that real quick. No, didn't get it all. I believe that's it. No security name specified. Oh, what's the security name? Do I need to set the version here? Let's see. I think it was version 3. Let's try that. Try the 2C version? All right, let's try it. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. So what this is doing, basically, SNMP is more or less dark magic. It's going through and you can... I'm trying to think how to explain this. You could almost think of it as like a hierarchy of all these different... I think they're called MIBs. It's been a long time since I did SNMP, so anybody on the chat, feel free to correct me. But essentially what SNMP walk is doing is, you see how these are all just incrementing in here? So it's starting with basically where some known good ones should be, and then walking down them. So see how this increments from a 1 to a 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So it's just incrementing by 1 each of those MIBs, if I remember correctly. And just kind of walking through it. Now the cool thing is right here at the very top is it tells us that the default consultant password is this. Change after using it. So really, I think this is the main part of kind of what we want in here. So let's copy that out and throw that down into our notes real quick. Anything else useful in here? Let's see. You also tend to get a lot of junk whenever you do SNMP walk. Like, depending on how the system is configured, you could just, this thing could just go for days. One of the other things to be aware of is that I have actually crashed systems by doing SNMP walk. So just take that for what it's worth. Just going through and hitting some of those different identifiers in here, you sometimes can crash the box. It's typically on smaller, for lack of a better term, IoT devices. That's usually where you see that happen. If it's something like running on a Linux system, you're probably not going to run across that. All right, let's see. So what we've got so far is we have a consultant password right here. Boop. And then we see that, I don't know if this means that this server was running as admin and consultant's PC. But let's go try just SSHing over to it. So let me copy this. Let's see, what was our target in here? Let's try this. So we'll do SSH. And what was our guy's name? It is consultant? It might be admin, but it said the default consultant password is. I don't know, let's try admin first. Let's see what it does. So admin, oh wait, I did that wrong. Hang on. And then let's paste this in here. Warning, this connection is not using post-quantum encryption. Okay, so it didn't like that. So let's try consultant then. Let's try that as the username. Consultant. Hey, there we go. Cool. So, real simple first blood in here. Actually, so now see we got a photograph and we got a diagram.png. So we could go through and SCP those down in here if we wanted to. One of the things I usually like to check is go check the bash history. But look right here. They've got the bash history forwarding to dev null. So in a real world scenario, that bash history is going to have a list of all the commands they ran. And a lot of times it's rife with passwords or API keys, right? They come through and they run like an export API key equals blah. That gets committed down to the history and then boom. So you get lots of fun stuff out of there. Actually, I don't know. Do exports show up in there? Hold on. I got to try something real quick. Tail bash history. Oh, wait, hold on. This wouldn't be our bash history because we're using, I think we're using ZSH in here. What's our shell? ZSH. So it should be like our, let's see, tail dot ZSH history. So the last thing we had in here was egg. So if I come through and I just do echo hello. That's all that's got in it? It's wild. Hang on. Sometimes that history doesn't actually... Yeah, there we go. Hold on, I want to try something quick. Xbar foo equals bar. And then exit. And then now... I'm just curious about this. Yeah, so if they did an export in here saying, oh, by the way, we're going to be super secure about this. We're going to say export our API keys over here into, like basically so that way it doesn't show up in the command terminal. It's like, well, bam, there we go. It shows up in the history though. So a lot of times that's one of the first things I'll go double check is, okay, what's going on in the command history? Can I find anything juicy in there? The bash RC is another place that's always nice to check. But a lot of times, if there's anything in here, it's typically at the very bottom. But since they've got like these kind of like standard boilerplate stuff, there's probably nothing in here. Yeah, this looks all very standard as I'm going through it. So, nothing in there as well. So the best thing to do would be actually come through and download those real quick. So, what's our present working directory? Should be home consultant. So let's go SCP those down. Let's CD over to downloads. And actually, to it. Let's do something. Make dir hack the box. CD to hack the box. Make dir AirTouch. We'll try to keep everything kind of isolated in here. All right, so then from AirTouch, let's SCP down. So what we'll do is we will do what's the command? I need the IP address here. Copy that. And then this will be home consultant. And then we'll get these two file names in here. We'll start with diagram here. Copy and paste. And then we're going to copy that here. Oh, wait, I did that wrong. This should, I got to tell it who to use it. So consultant at. There we go. And then what was his password? This guy right here. Oh, I misspelled consultant. I was like, why is this not working? Oh, actually, you know what? You're right. We could just do star.png. I believe that will work. Yeah, there we go. Save me some trouble there, Agent Smith. All right, so let's go take a look at these real quick. Different consultants. Yeah. So let's go see what we've got in here. Let's see. Hack the box, AirTouch, network diagram. Ew, it opened in Firefox. Okay. So we've got some stuff happening in here, right? So we see we've got 22 natted over to this machine, 161. So coming from the internet, right? 161 was forwarding over to 1.2. So 1.2 is the consultant's laptop. So this is where we're at right now. So we're in the consultant's VLAN. We got to hop over to the tablet's VLAN probably. Maybe go through the router. That would be the common way. Actually, we probably don't even have to jump through that. But we know where they're at now, right? The tablet's VLAN is over here on 192.168.3.0. And then the corporate VLAN is in 10.10.10.0. So let's go double check something real quick on our machine right here. Let's do it if config. And we only see ETH0. It's in that 127.20.1. Let's go copy this real quick. Save some notes. Copy selection. Okay. Let's put a little note here. SSH'd into consultant laptop. So we can keep track of like what we've got going on in there. Proxy chain time. Possibly. In fact, hang on. Let's go double check something, because I believe Poseidon... Let's see. I think Poseidon has... Let's see. Mythic, Agent, Matrix. Feature Matrix. Here we go. Alright, so where's Poseidon in here? There's Poseidon. Let's see. Supported C2 profiles. Yeah, we got HTTP. Okay, so we could also do TCP on here. So it supports TCP, which Mythic usually always treats as a peer-to-peer. So let's go grab that real quick. Let's see. TCP. Like so. So we could use proxy chains. However, we've got a C2 server that we can use. Yeah. Let's go install that. Because then what we could do is, as we build up our... Yeah, but WebSockets is meant to call back to, like, the Mythic server itself. So instead, what we could do is we could go use TCP. If we find a connection over to the other system, then we could just make a direct TCP connection over to it. If we were on Apollo, we could also use SMB as a method for making that kind of peer-to-peer communication. So the difference here is like this. The difference is we've got our Mythic server, right? So we have MC2, our Mythic C2, and it's sitting out on the internet, right? And then we've got the great big firewall here, blocking everything, right? That's our firewall. And then inside here, we've got the corporate network, right? Just like this. So if I've got a machine here that's compromised and calling back over to Mythic, but let's say there's a machine over here that has no internet access, but these two can talk to each other, then I could actually build a peer-to-peer link this way so I could talk to it. So this would be something like either SMB, which is only supported on the Windows systems, or we could use TCP here. So then once I get this one established, we could actually come over to this guy and be like, oh, hey, go ahead and build a TCP connection over to it. Oh, sorry, my big fat head's in the way. There we go. Yeah, so this is your corporate network over here. So we've got a couple different systems. We could even then come over and do the same thing over here with TCP, like this. So we can just kind of daisy chain them together like that. And it could be even once, actually, hold on. Once we get back to this guy over here, this one might be able to reach back to us also, in which case, cool. We could then set up a second agent to call back over to the Mythic C2. So let's say, for example, okay, lost you at the firewall, no problem. So these two guys right here, this one has internet access, ka-chunk. This one has internet access, ka-chunk. But let's say this guy right here, I forgot my head's in the way. This guy right here, let's say he just doesn't have internet access. He's connected to the corporate LAN, but there's something here blocking him connecting out to the internet, right? Well, that's no problem. We can bounce the signal from one agent into the other and basically pivot between the two of them. So we might even then find another machine. If we can get this direct connection back to the server, all the better. But a lot of times you're going to run into scenarios where you're going to have to chain them together. There we go. Boop. I can't tell if you're trolling all the time, Gumby. So when you ask those questions, I'm going to give you a legit answer. Jerk. Plus, a lot of people do get lost on firewalls. They legit do. All right. Let me see here. Did we have... What is this one? Oh, that's Firefox. So we may want to go do a scan against the tablets VPN and the corporate VPN as well. Oh, you know what we didn't do? Let's go check the other file that we've got open. Where was it? Oh, it's over here for some reason. All the icons aren't showing up. Oh, this is just like a hand-drawn picture of it. Let's see. Yeah, so we've got our corporate VPN. There's actually, according to this, there's 2 consultant laptops. Maybe there's something else in this neighborhood we want to go check out. And then we have our tablets, and then we have the corporate one. So just a different version of it in here. Let me make a note of this real quick. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. Found network diagram. Let's see. And this is the consultant VLAN. And what was that one? 172.20.12. 20.1.2/24? Not sure. Makes sense. They usually tend to default to 24s. And this one is our tablet. Tablet VLAN. And 192.168.30. 30/24. And then the other one is our Corp VLAN. And so for the Corp VLAN, we have 10.10.10.0.24. 10.10.0/24. There we go. So, might need to note the SSIDs. That's actually a good idea. Yeah. Let's see. AirTouch Internet, AirTouch Office. That is a good idea. Let's do that. Let's say SSID, AirTouch Office. No, this was AirTouch Internet. And we'll drop that one right here. This one's AirTouch Office. Office. There we go. So after we connect all those together, we don't have particular IP addresses, so we'll probably just have to go scan this /24. Probably just a ping sweep will let us get over to it. In fact, one of the easiest ways is just start with the .1 address, right? So if we come back over here, we're on the consultant laptop, right? If we do, let's see, route print, let's see, route tack in. There we go. So the default gateway is the .1 address in here. So let's see if we can ping that. Let's see, I think it was 192.168.30.1. Ping command not found. Really? Really? No ping? I'm just curious if it's got SSH available. Oh, you know what I just realized? Hang on. They just add more information to it. Let's go bring that back up. Here we go. So SSH actually forwarded us to... Oh, wait. That forwarded us to the consultant laptop. Okay, that was to be expected. So we did have some NAT in here. So we need to figure out what's over there on 192.168.30. The IP address could technically... Well, actually, no. The IP address can't be a 32. The smallest it could actually be would be a /30. Because if it was a /32, it wouldn't have a network to talk off of, right? Because this interface here on the router has to have an IP address, so this guy knows where to route it, right? So the smallest you could have would be a /30, because then 0 would be your network address, 1 would be the router, 2 would be the consultant laptop, 3 would be the broadcast address in there. You can technically, in some cases, if the networking gear supports it, but I haven't really seen any that do, you could actually get away with a /31. But for the most part, /30 is usually, for like a point-to-point link, the smallest they really want you to do. I think I may have done that one time a long time ago. Yeah, Black Math, I can see your messages. You're all good, man. You're not shadow banned. What's shaking? I hope you're having a good Saturday. Let's see. Oh, you know what I just realized? You know what we did? We did an IF config on here. We did not do an IW config. Oh, there we go. We've got some stuff happening now. Let's see. Okay, so we've got some IP addresses. Not IP addresses. We have some... What would these be? We have some wireless network connections in here. We have a lot of them, actually. Nothing's listed in here. What's the other one? IW list. What do we have in here? Hang on. Let's see. So we have 0. We have 0 through 6 in here. All right, so let's make a note of that real quick. Now, network diagram. We'll do this up here. Let's see. Wireless interfaces. We've got WLANs 0 through 6. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. Rather than being lazy. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There we go. That way, we can go through, we can actually check them and see, like, what it sees. So I think IW list, let's do WLAN 0 first. Oh, I thought it was... Oh, that's right. You got to tell it what you're doing, and I haven't had to do Linux networking in forever. Let's see. Let me try scanning. I haven't had to do this in so long. Network is down. Okay, well, that makes sense. Network is down. All right, fine. About 2. What about 3? What about 4? 5? 6? Rude. Let's see. Yeah, I guess we probably could try setting the link up. Let's see, they're all set to managed. Let's see. So what we need to do is... Can I do that? What is it? I haven't had to do Linux, Windows, Wi-Fi in so long. Let's see. Linux turn. Oh, try it with the IP link command? Okay, we can try that. Let's see. Set WLAN 0 up. Let's see if it's got that on it. Permission not permitted. RIP. Do we have sudo in here? Sudo su. Nice. Anything interesting in here? Oh, look at that. How kind of them. They already put EPAMR on here for us. What's in the wget file? Oh, it's just, it was doing, what is it? Oh, what is HSTS? I think it's certificate pinning, if I remember correctly. Oh, that's a strict transport security. Web servers to declare that the browser must only interact with them via HTTPS. That's right. That's something different. All right, let's see. Again, no history here, so that's a bummer. We could check the profile in the bash RC. They're not much of a thing. Do sudo set all none. That's right. Actually, I'm curious. What do they set for that? Let's see. Etsy. Oh no, what is it? Sudo tech LL. I think that's it. Yeah, there we go. Run as group all, commands all. There we go. I don't remember if I've ever gotten to use EPAMR before. Let's see. Well, let's try that again. Let's do, what was the command? You said IP link set WLAN 0 up. There we go. So in theory from this, we should see there's AirTouch Office. Actually, hold on. For good note taking, let's see. Wireless interfaces. Yeah, I'll leave that for there. Let's see. Let's do Privesk. Everyone is sudo. Let's see. So then we did an IW list. I'm just going to go copy this out of here real quick. I'm lazy. There's a Vodafone in here. Copy that. Boop. So then from this, we have a couple of different cells in here we want to go grab. Let's see. Which one is this? Movie Star. AirTouch Internet. Okay, we do want this one right here. We want some of this material. I believe... Does this give us like the... Oh, it does give us the BSS ID right there. Okay. Copy that. So whenever I'm recording this, by the way, just as a general note, like, normally I'd be capturing everything in here. And then when I go to write my report, I'd actually drop it in. But I'll also just do this. Like, hey, by the way, this command returned a butt ton of output, and you don't need to see it all. Here's the important thing. They have a Wi-Fi in the toilet. Look at that. So you can have Wi-Fi's when you're pooping. Let's see, where's the next one? Here we are. Here's cell 6. That is AirTouch Office. Let's grab that. So we're mostly concerned with these two right here. So we have the BSS ID, which is the actual MAC address of it, and we've got the ESS ID, which is the normal, what we usually consider to just be like the normal SSID. Wait, you have to explore this pooper Wi-Fi. What's up, Rabbit? Let's see. Hang on, let me take a quick peek over at... Oh, that sucks. Install? Let me just try it again. When in doubt, when a Ludus deployment or install fails, just start it over. This is why I didn't want to try to do Dracaris tonight. Alright, we'll get that restarted there. Alright, so we've got those two. Let's see. CD over to EPAMR. God, I haven't used EPAMR in freaking forever. What is EPAMR, anyway? Just a Python script. All right, how do we use EPAMR? Let me see. Oh yeah, I know. I've just never used EPAMR. I was still. Oh, hold on. Let me think about this. Yeah. What was the command to... Did it actually... Hold on. Did it show us this real quick? Let me see. There might have been some information actually I was missing in here. That's Vodafone, Movistar. The Wi-Fi in the John. Here we go. So the office one. WPA2. Okay, so that's using WPA2. That's crackable, which it probably would be for this. Let's see. Office is using WPA2. And then... Wait, hold on. There's two Office ones in here. See that? I think I only copied cell 6. Yeah, hold on. Let's go grab cell 7 also. There are two... There's two of them in here. So, for good note-taking, let's go grab this real quick. We want you. Copy. Let's go drop this right here. Boop. There we go. All right. So, let's see. Which one was it? Cell 3. Hold on. Let me go up to cell 3 real quick. It's probably using WPA2 as well. Yeah, so it's using WPA2 TKIP. And then, let's see. Cells 6 and 7 are using WPA2 CCMP. So... Damn, I haven't had to crack Wi-Fi in so long. The last one I had to do actually was WPA3, and that was a beatdown. Because WPA3, it is theoretically possible to try to crack it, but it's dirt slow. Yeah, and I think that's why they set that up that way. That because TKIP is so much easier to crack, is so that you could do it here in the lab without having to like go spin up Hashcat or something to do it. Let's see here. All right, so how do we use EPAMR? I haven't had to use EPAMR in so long. Let's just run it real quick. EPAMR, help! All right, so we got some options in here. Let's see. So we can specify the ESSID, the BSSID, what channel it's on. We can also specify the interface. So hold on, let's go build out a command real quick for this. Can we crack it? Let's see. So EPAMR. So TACI, we'll do this on WLAN 0. We want to know the channel, so we're going to go for... Damn it. I knew I should have copied the rest of this out. Hang on. Let me make a note of this real quick. Cell 3 is using this stuff right here. Hang on. I'm going to copy this out. Stop it! Alright, so here's a little bit more information on cell 3. And then let me go grab it for cell 6 and 7 too, because I don't want to go look this up later. Oh, actually, this one is using .1x. Okay. Using a little bit of .1x action in here. And this one should be identical to it, so... I'm going to be lazy, just do it like that. There we go. So .1x is a different authentication layer that we'll have to get around. But there are ways. Alright, so we'll need EPAMR. We need the channel these are running on. So this is the one we only have a chance of cracking right here. And it's running on channel 6. So we'll set the channel to 6. And we'll set the... What else do we need in here? We'll do it by BSSID. So we'll do TAC B. And we'll go and grab the MAC address. Copy that. Put that right there. Yes, sir. Could you do an evil twin attack? Actually, given the number of connections we have in here, maybe. Man, I haven't had to do that in so long. I think it's probably been... It's been at least 2 years. Probably, possibly as long as 3 years ago, I had to do an evil twin. Yeah. We probably... Actually, you're probably right, Gumby. Should we specify both? We've got both. Why not? Let's make it explicit. So we'll specify the ESS ID also, which in this case is going to be AirTouch Office. We'll try to just make sure we get it just right in here. And then let's see. What else do we have in here? Karma options. Known beacons. I don't think this was using 802.11n. Was it? Nah. Let's see, auto crack. Enable auto crack in ad. Let's see, word list, auto crack options. I'm trying to decide if I want to try auto crack or not on here. Let's see, known beacons, known SSIDs. We have a couple options in here. I have not used EPAMmer, so what I'm looking at is we can either capture the handshakes and go crack them offline. I'm trying to see if there's a better way to do this. We don't need to set the WPA version because it defaults to version 2, so we're good there. That would be more quiet. But in this case, we're also not worried about being quiet in here. I was reading something, and it just said... There's attack creds option in here. Harvest eat creds using evil twin attack. Oh, well, there we go. Different evil twin. We could try that. You know what? Let's do that. Let's do that. So here's our command. Let's try the creds option in here. We'll see what happens. Okay, press enter to quit. Oh wait, did I mean to quit? Let me try this one more time in here. Alright, so RFKill cannot open RFKill control device, WLAN 0, uninitialized to country update. Failed to load client certificate library, no such directory. I don't think it's working. Let's see. What is the output file from this? I don't know if I need to leave it up and let it try it, or... Actually, let's do RT in here. So if it's going to make a credentials.log... So it didn't capture anything there. Oh, here's the .logs right here. keylogger, user log, keystroke, they're all zeroed out though. So it could just be we just didn't let it run long enough. Yeah, it failed on OpenSSL. Let me look at the output. Like I said, because I'm not familiar with EPAMR, so we're learning as we're doing it. Let's see, EPAMR. All right. Am I root? Checking for rootness. I am root. Root privs. Saving current IP table config. Let's see. Reticulating radio frequency splines. Nice. Could not create NM client object. Actually, hold on. Let's go check this. Maybe we actually got some handshakes in here. We didn't get any. Okay. So it didn't capture any handshakes, and it was capturing them in, oh crap, what is that tool? It's capturing them in a particular format in here. Failed to set TLS parameter. I think the problem is we probably just didn't let it run long enough. Because you gotta think, this stuff's not happening on, like, a regular basis. Hold on, I'm gonna let it run a little bit longer in here. Because it looked like it's throwing some errors, but it didn't outright fail. So we need to let this run for at least 5 minutes. Unfortunately, let it go. So while that's doing that, let's go check on the Ludus deployment. Okay, cool. Ludus is actually looking like it's moving along in here. Nice. Okay. So Dracaris is deploying. Excellent. Let's go look over in Proxmox real quick. What do we got over in Goat? There we go. So we have our Linux server, we got a server, and we got our domain controller. Nice. Nice. So probably what we're going to do when we get into this lab is probably find a foothold on Linux, use that to harvest some kind of credential material to get onto server 1, maybe have to escalate on server 1, find something to escalate over to DC01. Nice. Go check WLAN0 status. Okay, can do that. Let's see. Unfortunately, I need to SSH back into that box to do it. And I gotta get his password again. Let me go grab that. Here we go. Let's see. WLAN0? Will that let me see it? Well, WLAN0 is definitely up. But look at that. RX packets. Nothing's moving through there. Let me see. Let's do this as a known SSL issue. Did I generate a cert? I did not generate a cert. Do I need to? I mean, we're not doing .1x on this one, are we? Hold on. Yeah, because this is using a pre-shared key. The Office is using .1x. Let's see. What? I tell you what. Hold on. Sudo su. Let me try something real quick. Do we have TCP dump on this? Oh, we don't have TCP dump. App update? Yeah, I didn't think you had internet access. Unfortunate. Because here's what I'm looking at. We're not having. There's no received packets. There's no transmitted packets. So I don't know if it's actually seeing what's happening in here. Let me try this. Let me look at this real quick. You know, one of the things we didn't do is we didn't actually do the dot install. Is there an install in here? Am I just missing it? This thing is saying it's loading those from Etsy EPAMR certs. Let's see. I'm trying to see where to go with this. Hey, Low Noise. Thanks for coming online. Welcome in. Wait, EPAMR has a cert wizard? Let's see here. EPAMR cert wizard. Where's it checking for these from? Okay, so that could make us a cert if we wanted to. Let me check something real quick. Let's see, we should be in root right now, right? Yeah. I was trying to see, like, did this guy already maybe have a certificate in here? What's in the cache? Pip cache, damn it. May you need to use the autocrack? Possibly. Alright, hold on. Let me go back over to EPAMR real quick. Because one of the things we could do is... we could, if we have... I was trying to see if this had... So this is a 2024 version. We have aircrack on here. We could just go use aircrack and capture it. I had to figure that, okay, the consultant, we don't know what the consultant is doing. Actually, you know what? I have a pretty good idea. I think the scenario here is that maybe the consultant laptop. Here's my headcanon for this. Is that this was deployed as a Dropbox for a pen test. What other tools do I have on here? Do I have Nmap? I do. Hold on. Which Nmap? Cat, Etsy, This is Ubuntu 20. So, you know what this looks like to me is that I've got a headcanon for this. It looks like to me that what happened here is this was set up like it was a Dropbox for a pen test, and it's got all the hacking tools on it, and this guy's over here actually doing like the wireless penetration test, and we just happen to like compromise it. That's what it looks like. Oh, that's funny as hell. Yeah. Well, considering how old this box probably is, I'm not surprised it's that old. However, I think it's really cool the way they set this one up with the wireless networks and everything. I'm curious how Hack the Box actually did that on the back end. I'm pretty sure there is a way to simulate wireless networks in something like AWS or ESXi. I've just never done it. Hold on. Which Nmap? Where is it? It's just right there. We have Aircrack. That's in bin. Hang on. I'm just following a little bit of a rabbit trail real quick. Okay, so it's just Aircrack in there. So, like, they've just straight up got it deployed, like, no tools directory or nothing. Let's see, which version of Nmap was it? Nmap 7.8. Let's see. Gubby, where was that cert directory at? Was it in here? Did I just miss it? Oh, there's a search directory right there. Yeah, so we've got some cert directories in there. Wait, hold on. Is there an interactive mode? Let's see. There's our Diffie-Hellman parameters. App hack. That's right. We're gonna do app hack. Ah, shit. I actually just noticed the time, guys. I apologize, but I have got to get some sleep tonight. So, hang on. Let me check on the lab real quick. Lab is still deploying. But this one's annoying now because... Also, just because I don't have to ever do wireless stuff anymore. But at the same time, I feel bad because it's like I feel like I should be more up to date on my wireless tradecraft. I'm also trying to approach this as a learner and not just go search for everything. So I'm taking this with a grain of salt. Unfortunately, like I said, looking at the time, I gotta get some sleep. Let's see. Hold on, where's my thing here? Let me pull this up. And map the network and see what comes back. You know what? Let's try that real quick. Let's see. PN. Let's see. Top ports. We'll just do like 100. And we'll set it to insanity mode. And what was the IP address there? I think it was 192. Let's see. 30/24. Let's go try it. 3.0/24. Let's see what happens. We'll put it to ludicrous speed. Hold on. While that's running, let me see, is anybody over on InfoSec streams? Nope. Just us late night hackers in here. Oh, I don't want to do that. Hang on. I don't want it to do DNS resolution, so we'll just do TAC in. Four minutes remaining. Good gracious. Now, I'm already a little bit sus that we probably don't have connectivity over to that. How does this box not have ping? Hold on. We got EPAMmer, we got Aircrack, we got other tools in here, I think. Those are the only two I remember off it. How do we not have ping? Zed's on? Okay, we might go right over to Zed. Let me see who else is on real quick. Hang on, my dashboard went crazy on me. Let's see. First thing, let's check who's over in science and tech real quick. Let's see. Astro Canuck is on. Nice. Space Canadians. There's a couple of folks on. Ace Console Repairs is also on, but let's see him. Let me see who's over in software and game development. Let's see. We got Zed. We got Coppinger's on. Let's see who else. Avocado Violet's on? Alright, let me go see real quick. Let's go see. Yeah, we could go raid Avocado Violet. We'll give it a second here. I want us to see if this is going to come back with anything. Chances are this probably isn't. It's probably firewalled off up here in the router. Because, like I said, I think the scenario here is this is a pen test consultant's laptop, and that's why they opened 22 and 161 over to it. Because there's been some companies that I know about that they basically will ship a laptop, they deploy it in their network, and you set up remote access into it, and they basically do all of their penetration tests from there. And it's not a terrible system to do. However, in this scenario, this is bad. Wait, GoPro is on? Is he doing his DJ string, Bobby? Yeah, he's DJing. I don't know. Let's see. Who else do we have on right now? Let me see. J Blow's on playing the game. Texas Miller's on. He's playing Platform. Let's see. If I'm gonna find a non-techie to raid, actually, we'll probably go raid over to Hectic, because she's playing Arc Raiders. That's a fun game. I know it's kind of late. Hold on. I don't see GoPro on. He's on. Am I not following him? No, I should be. You know what? We haven't rated over to GoPro in a bit. Hang on. I just want to give this... Okay, in theory, this is going to be done in like 30 seconds. I want to see what this in-map scan comes back with real quick. Yeah. For some reason, he just wasn't showing up in the... in my followers list, Gubby. That's why I was like, I'm 100% sure I'm following him. Come on, in-map. Do your thing. 12 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 6. It hasn't reported anything yet, so yeah, that's what I expected. All are filtered. Yep, everything came back as filtered. All filtered. Sad. Okay. Alright, guys. Unfortunately, that's where I gotta wrap it up. We'll go right over to GoPro. Let me get that started. Boop. There we go. He does really good DJ sets, too, by the way. So if you just want some, like, late-night chill music, go check him out. And I will catch up with y'all tomorrow night. We'll let Dracarys finish deploying, and then we'll finish this one up tomorrow. I think we can get this one, and then we'll start tinkering around with Dracarys, because this is pissing me off now. Now it's personal. But when you guys do me a favor, when you get over to GoPro stream, drop a bunch of happy hackers in there. Make it feel good. Hack the planets and everything. He does really great sets. And I will catch up with y'all tomorrow night. I hope tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow's Sunday. Spend time with friends and family. Get away from the screens a little bit. And get prepared for Monday's crushing it mode. Some of you, it's already Sunday. So I hope you're spending your time like that. Everyone, y'all take care. I will catch up with y'all tomorrow night. I'm going to get some well-deserved sleep after working in the yard for 5 hours. And I will catch y'all tomorrow. I love you. Peace.